Okay, After Earth. Will Smith and Jaden Smith star in this film with a story by Will Smith for Jaden Smith, set way in the future where Earth is uninhabitable and humanity is relocated to a distant planet. Wait, isn't that the same as Oblivion? Will Smith plays hard-ass military type Cypher Rage. Cypher Rage? How long did it take him to come up with that name? Who decides it's time to take that fateful one final mission, and for no real reason at all, brings his son, Jaden Smith, along for the ride. Jaden plays the only person in the entire spaceship smart enough to put on a seatbelt when the entire thing falls out of the sky. It then crash lands on Earth. Ooh. From there on, it's an almost 2 hour, nowhere near the edge of your seat snooze fest, where Jaden Smith proves time and time again that talent is not hereditary. Overall, I'd give this film a 2 out of 5. It's perfectly watchable, but it's just so meh. I'll try not to give any spoilers in the review, but the film is hindered by a plot so simplistic there's literally points where you could pause it and write word for word the next few lines of speech yourself. In fact, I think the biggest plot twist here is the fact that the film is directed by M. Night Shyamalan. Shyamalama Ding Dong. This is the guy that brought you The Last Airbender and The Happening. They never mentioned that in any of the promotional material. I wonder why. One of the most significant scenes in this film revolves around Jaden Smith trying to get some kind of good Wi-Fi signal. Seriously, thousands of years later and we still haven't got past the point of doing this. And then, when the climactic scenes come around, you'd be hard pressed to find anybody in the entire audience that couldn't tell you exactly what's about to happen next. It's a huge letdown. The acting in this film is abysmal, literally laughable. One unintentionally laugh out loud scene happens when the Hitch costume with the allergic reaction somehow makes a cameo appearance. Jaden Smith is arguably the weakest link in this film. He's obviously taken the Joey Tribbiani approach, spends his whole time practicing his smell the fart acting. The whole film! Biggest disappointment is definitely Will Smith. They've taken the most charismatic guy in the universe and they've put him in a completely emotionless role. This guy could take your mother's funeral and turn it into a night to remember. Gone are the wisecracks, quips, jokes, charisma, humour, character, heart and charm. Instead, they've been replaced by this. He even sits down for about 95% of the film. I get it, but if you buy a Ferrari, don't just use it to go to the shops. Various plot holes and ridiculousness scattered throughout the film. Like, why did they take the big bad human munching alien on board the ship and then contain it in what appears to be a flimsy box? There's no way it could escape. Right? And why is the weapon of choice to fight these massive 12-foot aliens some kind of double-sided Darth Maul toothpick? Has nobody figured out that guns might be a bit more useful? Jaden is apparently able to pierce through his ribcage and his heart using a needle that's about 2 centimetres long. That's smaller than my dick! The key theme of the movie is obviously the relationship between the father and the son. Son just wants father's approval, father doesn't seem to care. The relationship doesn't really develop much over the course of the film, and its conclusion is just unfulfilling. The problem is that the characters just aren't that likeable. Jaden Smith is a brat, and Will Smith is a bit of an ass, so when things happen, we just don't care. Another theme that's hinted at the start of the movie is about man's impact on the environment and the consequences it has for both us and the planet. But somehow this is just immediately dropped and never talked about again, which is a real shame because there are really no other subtle nuances or undertones. Unlike, for example, District 9, which is another sci-fi movie but actually manages to do this quite well. In fact, why am I still talking about After Earth? Just go watch District 9! There are a few good things about After Earth though. Shyamalan has a good grasp of the visuals, and although the effects are a bit shoddy at times, the futuristic natural Earth is gorgeous and gives an impression of a much vaster world. Some of the action and chase scenes are quite fun as well. One particular scene involving a skydive will definitely perk you up from the slump that you're no doubt in at that point. However, overall, it's just not enough to rescue this film from its many downfalls. You can't help but feel that the movie would have been so much more in the hands of another director, and if the story had been done by anyone other than the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, don't see this film in the cinema and instead just wait for it on DVD. And if you're really desperate for Smith family shenanigans, watch The Pursuit of Happiness instead. It's much better. Thanks very much for watching. Hope you liked what you saw. If you did, like, subscribe, because hopefully I'll be putting out a lot more videos quite soon. I'm off to watch District 9.